Okay. Good morning, Ms. Rochelle and Ms. Jen that joining with us today. It is an honor for us for having you in here. We are from UWB Company, and you can see we have Natalie as the leader, Kevin, Geraldo, Felicia, Michelle, Irena, and also my name is George Sebastian. I am the secretary of this company, and I'm here to introduce you about our product that we call Trash Keeper. Nowadays, we are having so much happening here in Indonesia, such as pollution, volcano, coronavirus outbreak, and also flood that is still being our problem for a decade. In Jakarta itself, floods generally happen when there's a heavy rain and make our rivers such as Ciliwung, Citandui, Cihaur, and other thousand rivers fade and causing flood. Why our river can be spaded and cause of flood? It is because of amount of trash in the river. Yes, you not misheard that. It is because of the garbage in the river. It is important to us to not throw garbage in the river, instead throw it in the trash bin. Not only in Jakarta, but this also happened in another province. And now, what is the relation between flood and our product? Is that our product help for filtering all of this garbage in the river, not only in the river, but also in the big sewer. Our product is a net that can hold amount of trash for filtering water from the trash. The net itself is made from the recycled water bottle material that water resistant and hard to break. Also, the net being supported by the support post that making the net stay still and making it not wash away from the river. Thank you. And now let's move on to Geraldo that will be talking about the problems.
The island of Java has been flooded for more than a month. On January 5, 2020, the death toll from flooding has reached 60 people. First of all, let's return to the meaning of flooding. Flooding is an event that occurs when an excessive flow of water submerges land. This word can also mean the entry of tides. Flooding occurs when the volume of water in a body of water, such as river or lake, overflows the capacity of waterways, especially in river bends. Where does that much water come from? Usually, the water comes from rain, which are far greater than ordinary. This rainwater will fall to the ground and most will immediately flow into the closest river. How to prevent river water from overflowing? Usually, river will overflow when a lot of mud settles at the bottom of the river. Therefore, to prevent it, the mud must be cleaned regularly, especially in rainy seasons, so that the flow of water in the river is much smoother. Another cause is the pile of garbage settling at the river. This garbage will also cause river capacity to be reduced and river water to not flow smoothly. Flooding often results in damage to houses and shops built near the river floodplains. In early January, the Cawang Toll underpass was flooded, and the flow of traffic leading to Jagorawi Toll Road was diverted. Then flood as high as 150 centimeters flooded the Kebon Baru district in South Jakarta. Cross the bed flyover line also experienced a flood as high as 20 to 30 centimeters. In this age of flooding, we must act appropriately to the situation, such as uniting with one another, acting calmly and in order, and also avoid causing further flooding by throwing trashes in its respectable place. For the time being, we have to stay patient and take care of our health, especially since the world has now been hit by another threat. As a citizen, we have rights. Our rights include the following: entitled to get good teaching or education, entitled to receive legal protection, entitled to receive health services, and the right to have an opinion. Our obligation includes comply with applicable laws, comply with driving rules, paying taxes for taxpayers, and prioritize the interests of the nation rather than personal or group interests. Thank you for listening to my explanation. Next, Natalie will explain about the parts, materials, and functions of our product.
Our product consists of four main parts: the net, the support poles, the rings, and the carbiners. The net collects trash while allowing floodwater to flow through it. In other words, the net acts as a sieve. The net can also be turned into a bag so that the trapped trash can be collected easily. The net is made of recycled bottles. The bottles are turned into strings that are then made into net. Plastic bottles are made of polyethylene terephthalate, more commonly known as PET. It is strong, lightweight, and thus it can withstand the pressure exerted by both the trash and floodwater well. The four poles support the net to ensure that the flood current won't wash it away. The poles allow the net to be in an upright position in order for it to collect trash well. The poles are made of AHSS, Advanced High Strength Steels. AHSS are multi-phase steels with complex microstructures that contain phases, such as ferrite, martensite, bainite, and austenite. AHSS are lightweight and maintain the same strength as mild steels. AHSS are also cheaper than other lightweight materials. The poles are painted in order to prevent rusting. Rings are needed in order to bind the net with the support poles carbiners. The rings are made of steel because steel is strong and aren't really pricey. The rings are painted in order to prevent rusting. Carbiners are needed in order to hook the net's rings to the poles. This is to ensure that the net remains in place. These carbiners are made of extruded aluminum alloy called rod stock. The alloy consists of aluminum, which makes it lightweight and as well as ductile, and zinc, which makes it strong. All carbiners are spring-loaded to make sure they stay closed, except when pushed open. This is because the stress inside the spring keeps it closed. These carbiners are then painted in order to prevent rusting. Thank you for listening to my explanation. Next up, we have Felicia who will do the explaining regarding economics.
Why do we think government should intervene in the flood incidents? The government needs to intervene in dealing with floods in Jakarta because the people have chosen the government to be responsible for solving problems faced by the community, including floods. The government has resources such as money and equipment to solve the problem, but it is hoped that the community will also take part with the government to overcome the problem of flooding. Which government policies instruments should be implemented to correct the flood incident? There are several policy instruments that the government can implement in controlling floods. Legal instruments can be prepared to educate people to respect the environment. Then, tax instruments such as rain tax can be used to raise funds in flood control. Besides that, the government can also use equipment instruments such as trash traps, which are quite effective in dealing with floods. Trash traps placed to reduce waste disposal from the drainage system, the net is designed to prevent rubbish from accumulating in the river and ultimately causes flooding. Trash traps have proven to be very cost-effective because manual workers are reduced. Traps are relatively easy to install, and when full, workers will lift and install new ones. How effective and immediate the government should be in correcting the flood incidents. The steps taken by the government have not been effective and immediate in anticipating floods in the rainy season. The government should accelerate the maintenance of sewer cleanliness so that it does not clog waterways and the addition of infiltration wells around the capital region. The main thing that makes correcting the flood incidents not yet effective is stopping the construction of reservoirs and river normalization in capital city. Due to constrained budget problems, the government must immediately resolve this problem so that the flood problem can be resolved. Next, Kevin will explain the business side.
Thank you, Felicia, for that explanation in economics. Now, let me explain the business side of things. Firstly, why should the government implement our product into their system? The government should implement our product into their system because knowing the recurring problem of flooding in Jakarta, it takes time for the flood to go out. Our product helps to speed up the time that it takes for the flood to go out by preventing more trash from clogging up the sewage system. Not only that, but it also prevents trash from just floating everywhere and end up anywhere. For example, trash could be stuck on a tree, entered people's houses, or could be just randomly scattered on the road. Secondly, to what extent will the market accept our product? Well, our product is made from recycled material. There's this trend going around while people are trying to be eco-friendly to save the turtles, save the planet. Greta Thunberg is one of the famous examples. It is seen specifically by people choosing to use metal straws or paper straws instead of plastic straws. Our product has a high quality, but it is sold with affordable prices. Thus, people with enough income can buy it. And we also know that the government has a low budget sometimes, and to prevent unfortunate people from not being able to get it, it is specifically sold with affordable prices so the government can help. Lastly, which marketing strategy works best to sell our product? Picking the best marketing strategy will be hard, as all of them are equally important. Product. Product is it is a simple product, but also effective. It does what it needs to do. What do people want? As seen on TV stuff. This is as seen on TV. For secondly, price. This product is cheap for the quality that it has. It is, well, yeah, it's good for the money that you pay. It's better than what you can get in other places. Place. We need to consider opening a brick and mortar store in the CBD, also known as Central Business District, where there is so many people that will have a chance to see it, since there is so many human traffic. Next, we need to pick a location that will benefit from our product. In this case, the capital city Jakarta is best fit, as it has a flood issue. Our product is so unique that we do not have to consider any other competitors. Unless our patent may be finished and other companies are allowed to then copy our product, then we will probably need to consider about the competitors. But for now, we're safe. Lastly, promotion. Other than printing out brochures, flyers, banners, we can use social media to promote our product. Going into fairs, conferences, convention centers to promote our product to get the word out there is also another idea that we can do. By putting our word out there, people can see and people will be interested to buy. We can also give discounts or bug off deals so people will buy one. And then people will see the chain goes on. Well, that's all for the business side of things. Next, we will have Irena discussing the accounting side of things.
How much the total investment that you need to support your production? Total investment is 1,600,000,000. How much money is needed to produce one unit product? Cost of one unit product is 2,400,000. How many products will you produce each year for the next 3 years? Round of 100 units each year. How much will you sell your product to the customer? 3 million each unit. How much profit will you generate from selling the product each year for the next 3 years? For the next 3 years, the total profit is 180 million. How much the return on investment each year for the next 3 years that you can give to the investor if they want to invest the money in your production is 3.75%. Thank you for listening to my explanation. Next, Michelle will explain about reflection.
Reflection. The impact of floods on our self-esteem and also our belief in God. Floods are natural disaster that we can prevent, but sudden flood have an effect on us, which is positive and negative. When it comes to belief and self-esteem, everyone who opposes the flood will surely ask. Instead, it was acknowledged that he was betrayed by God because he was given this calamity. When spending a flood, someone's self-esteem will definitely go down a little or will greatly decrease because of damage, loss of properties, and others. Or it could also be someone who issues a flood not because he knows what he must do. In conclusion, the impact on everyone will not be the same, but it will definitely have an impact on their trust and self-esteem. In what ways can we help our neighbors in these circumstances? By donating a little of our pocket money, as students, or donating as much as we can from adults, because we together have to spend the disaster, and we must help because we cannot continue to do the trouble because people is a social creature that us at will to find people. In other cases, it can also be like making tools or giving ideas to prevent flooding or make a campaign not to litter, or also with speeches that can fix floods and prevent flooding. Things that can be reflected are in dealing with events like this or against disaster, we must remain enthusiastic, passionate, and strong in overcoming this. We must also reflect on what we have done ourselves until God gives us trials like this. We also have to contemplate God still loves us. We still have to approve and give statements about God still questioning us. Indeed, trials like this are not easy for everyone. It is hoped that the rising sun will be reissued and given what we will do. What can we do as a student? As a student, we can contribute such as donating as best as we can or also through projects like this. We give ideas to prevent flooding and also prevent after flooding. We can also make movements to improve our environment and not litter. Because as students, we must think ahead and also think creatively and think positively when making problems like this. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so it's finally the end of our presentation, and we feel really honored to having you in here. It's such a pleasure to us to presenting our product to our teacher and also our professor that we can see really excited. And we should like to thank you for you to listening our presentation and seeing all of the problems, material, function, product, and another extra thing that we know that isn't perfect. We also like to say thank you for you to giving us a good reaction and also a good comment. It makes us really excited to develop this product in the future. And we also want to say sorry if there's any misunderstanding, mishearing, and also if there's any word that we use wrongly. We sincerely apologize. And that's all for our presentation. Have a good day and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay,